that opening up and communication is much easier said than done. And in reality, people who experience situations similar to this simply repress their feelings, repress their emotions, don't open up. They do the opposite, in fact. And although they might oftentimes appear to be stable and to appear to be healthy, it only is really exacerbating the problem. What would your advice be for people in that situation who are looking to overcome this, but they can't get over that, barrier that's kind of in the way, where their emotions and their feelings are really repressed and they want to open up, but it's very, very difficult for them to?
Yes. I think finding people who have been through the process and existing with them. I mean, that's really my motivation for even sharing my own work, because it is a dicey world out there, and even the realm of therapy, where so many people are practicing therapists and they have not done their own integration work. And so it's really difficult to find people who have actually done the work and then come into their energy field and work there. I think that that's key. And to be able to actually either find people, I mean, I'm sure there are professionals who have not been through abuse who can facilitate people moving through that process. But I also think people who have actually done the integration work can shine a light on that path for people so that they can actually witness what that journey looks like. I know, like in my own family system, I come from, my family is not really wealthy or anything, but I have 6 sisters. They're all, married to MIT graduate type people. They're all very successful in the world. They all have master's degrees or high education, and, they're nice homes, and it looks like their entire, that was the key in my family of origin, was that we were commanded to create an external life that showed absolutely no trace of abuse. And so I'm sitting in a reality with a group of people that are very much like what you're describing, where they are alienated from themselves, but at the same time they did go ahead and create these external lives that prove to them and to the outer world that they're together when they're not. And I think that that's a really, in a way, as difficult as my life has been, because I've really never had the capacity to do that. And even though it's made for a difficult existence in a lot of ways for me, because I never had the protection of status, and I never had the protection of materialism to give me a sense of togetherness in the world. But at the same time, I never lost connection to my own truth. And I think so I do think that, I guess back to your original question, I think the key, ultimately, the most basic dynamic when it comes to healing wounds is trauma and self-alienation in childhood, is to begin to really dialogue with that child self who was there. Because the truth is, we can never really get away from ourselves, and we can never really ameliorate and destroy the truth of our own existence. And we know that inside. I know that so completely because I have been in both places. I have been forced to pretend inside of a totally devastating world that I was okay there when I wasn't. And now I sit in a totally grounded seat inside my own life, and I'm fully conscious of how I feel about everything, and I totally own my path, all the aspects of it. And it isn't easy. It isn't easy to even discuss my past, because I know that it is very much a stigma in this culture, because so few people have done their integration work, and the way they remain self-alienated is to condemn and shun and blame the child within them, which is what all victims of abuse do. It's like when you think of an adult woman being raped, how one of the very typical characteristics of their experience is that they feel dirty and they feel awful and they feel ashamed, and they blame themselves because the perpetrator doesn't own the violation as theirs. And this is very true with childhood issues on all levels, whether it's emotional transgressions or just being dismantled by your own parents on whatever kind of a level. and never being allowed to address it or heal it. We absorb these things and we take them on. And so as I exist in public with my own history, it's like I'm very aware of the strange stigma that still sits in this culture and is laid upon victims of abuse, because really wherever each individual is sitting with these issues internally is how they're going to engage with me. People who are integrated and who have done that work, I mean, we love and respect and honor each other on the ultimate levels. People who are devastated and concealing the truth from themselves by shutting their inner child down and blaming themselves will tend to look at me as though I'm, there's something wrong with me that happened to me as a child.
Yes. Now, did any other members of your family experience and endure things that you had gone through? And
yes.
Did they have a direct impact? Did you consult with them when creating this work? Did they contribute at all? What was their level of direct impact?
Their level of impact was, they're devastating, and they're very violent with me, and they are absolutely intolerant of this work. And they... it's been, like I said, a couple of decades since I created this work and went through that integration process. And my family, I mean, they're card-carrying members of the false memory syndrome movement. I mean, they're intelligent, and they pursued those avenues to dismantle me. And I mean, I remember at one point, one of my sisters actually told me, I've published a story about you in a book called True Stories of False Memories. I mean, it's all the things that I've endured are the reasons why people don't do their integration work, because it is not welcomed. So much of our consensus reality is created through people who are self-alienated, and people are able to. And so my family, no, they never did. They never tolerated it. They were, after a number of years in therapy, my therapist recommended that one of my therapists, I was really, really depressed and totally disempowered in my life, and she said, I really think you should confront your mother, and I did, and I wrote a letter, and oh my gosh, they were just violently, opposed to me doing any of this work. And even though I went 3,000 miles away from them, I've never interfaced with them from a place of like, you need to do this integration work too. I just believe, and I always have from the time I was born, that I have the right to exist in this world and not to perpetuate these energies on any level. I refuse to. Like, I could never, ever come out of that system and go ahead and have children without addressing this stuff, and all of them have,
It's really amazing that you found yourself in such an opposite situation from them, where obviously you're very open and honest and acknowledging that these things occurred, and yet they're in such a state of denial. Where do these origins come from?
Well, the fact of the matter is, Matt, is that this is really typical from what I have seen through the years. The people that I know who did their integration work in this life are all sitting inside of very similar configurations to mine. Their families have never accepted it. They condemn them. They're shunned. They're dismantled. They're just put off to the side as some crazy, weird energy inside of their family system that's contaminating it. But at the same time, all we have to do is look at our society, and we can see how prevalent these energies are and how unaddressed they still are. And so it is not like my family system is very typical to what I see. There's usually one person who actually is the strongest and the least capable of continuing that legacy. And back to the origin, to me, from what I've really witnessed inside of my own life, these energies are ancestral. And